Hello, everybody, and welcome into Junk Journaling with Emily. We are going to continue on from last week's video, and if you missed that video, I have that link in the description. Now, I created this little folio off camera, you guys. I apologize for that. I thought it was recording, I was not. But I'm going to just find a place for this piece, and we'll create something like this later on in our videos. But I'm going to add this piece into our junk journaling, and I'm adding once again my Fab-Tac glue to the back, and I'm going to adhere that full page to our junk journal here. So as you flip through, you'll have this little pouch here to open up and add some more little tags, some more little effects, and more writing space here. And then, of course, we're coming back in with our Distress ink pad, and we are going to age up this piece since we are going with kind of a grungy vintage vibe here. And this is a Tim Holtz brand, and you can find this brand on your craft store or also on Amazon. Now, I'm just coming in and creating once again. I have so many pieces of paper, you guys. I'm just trying to use up these pieces in this journal. And if you guys have scrap pieces as well, you can place those into your journal because nothing goes to waste in the junk journaling world, you guys. And I'm coming in adding a few little details of lace. Now, if you notice, I did bend that top of the piece there so we can create a flap. And of course, I want to add some writing space because I personally like to write in my junk journals. So I'm going to add some writing space here, and with my decorative edge scissors, I'm going to trim up that paper and round out those corners as well with my little doohickey there. And coming back in, you guys, to distress up those edges and age up my paper a little here. And once we have that all aged up, I'm going to add that to the back of the flap so that you have a cute writing space here when you flip up the flap. And then we will continue on and add a writing space to the bottom as well as distressing further our piece here. And then once again, I add my glue to the back of this piece of paper, and I will be adding that to the front, also giving you another writing space. And then from our bird book that we have been using throughout our journal here, I'm just going to fussy cut a little bird out and add that to the front of this just to pull in that bird theme as well. This journal is kind of taking on a mind of its own, you guys, and I'm just using what I have. So there's a lot of different elements to here. So I hope at the end of this, you guys like the journal here, as well as all the different elements that I am bringing into here. I just come in with my Fab-Tac glue that little bird, add a little label tag there, and then once again, aging up our piece with our Distress ink. Now I decide also I want to come in with a third little scrap piece of paper here for more writing room. Go ahead and trim back up those edges, add my Fab-Tac glue, and place that piece right in the middle of our paper here. So when you fold up, you have 3 separate writing spaces to work with, as well as having that vintage music sheet paper in the background. And we come back in with our little fussy cut bird and add that to the bottom of our piece, giving us a little bird detailing there as well. Now, if you wanted to, you can add lines. I chose not to. I'm just going to leave these pieces plain. Now, you see me bringing in these little vintage pictures here of ladies, and I'm going to continue that process because I have some of these little scrap pieces in my junk journaling supplies, and I just thought like adding a little bit of some human element here would look great in this junk journal. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think so far of what I am creating here, and let me know thumbs up or is this a hot mess. I hope you guys don't think it's a hot mess, but I'm just going to continue on doing me, and that's what I want you guys to remember. You guys have creative flow here. You use your creativity, use papers you got, stamps, bring in any scraps that you have, and create your junk journal with, because remember, it's a junk journal. So I decided to come in with this lady here and cover up that first initial butterfly we put there, and I just thought that this would add a better look for the vintage element that I'm trying to bring into the journal. So once again, that Fab-Tac glue, adding to the back there, and just pressing firmly on our little picture. And for this piece, I found this tag in my stash I created a while ago. It's just a layered look, and this one as well. And since we're bringing in blues, pinks, and greens here, I thought these would go. And I just layered up lace, some pictures, some fabric, some different textures all in one little tag. And I'm just going to search for a spot where these will fit into our junk journal. I found some little metal keys in my stash. So on this page, I'm going to add in some glue and add a little decorative layering here with our metal key. And I believe I might bring in some buttons as well. I come back in with another piece of our bird bug here, and I decide to make a little flap on this edge of this paper as well, coming back in with that Fab-Tac glue. And you notice I just folded it and made it a little edge there so that my paper can fold out, and we have another little flap here. Now I'm just doing very simple pieces here, flaps and little pockets here, because remember, we're barely starting and we want to come in and walk before we run kind of thing here. I found another piece of a music sheet, and I want to have this to have like a ripped edge here. So I'm coming in with my hands and just ripping up the edges, and coming back in with my distress ink and adding that to all the corners of my paper and give this a vintage vibe. And I'm just going to run that bead of glue down the edge of my paper here and place that and hold that in place, giving it a little bit of time to dry. Okay, coming back into our little flap here, I'm going to add my distress ink and age up my page here. And you notice that the back of that page has a lot of writing on it, and I think I want to make that a writing space instead. So I just come in with some lined paper here, and I'm going to continue on adding my lined paper in places where I want, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with that flap and all that writing on the back of it. Coming back in with my decorative edge scissors and making a little scalloped design on the edge, and coming back in with that distress ink once again to age up these pages and give them that vintage look. Now remember, the Fab-Tac glue you can buy on Amazon. I use this glue because it does stick well as it has the option to glue the lace on as well. So it's kind of like an all-in-one, but there's so many different glues you guys can use. Just research and see which one works best for you. Now I'm coming in with just a blank piece of paper, and I am marking the page so that I can cut a piece the size of our flap. And once again, I want to add that writing space so that people have the option to write in the back. And I'm looking for the little mark there, you guys, that I made, and I couldn't find it. And then I realized that the paper was that decorative bird paper, and so I think I decide to use that option instead. Coming back in and rounding out all these corners and zhuzhing up the ends as well. So I guess I decide not to use that, and I go ahead and make some lines here, just using my ink pad as my guide. I really need to find a ruler here so I could have better lines. You can also print out your images and then on the back of your image print out some line paper as well, or a line design if you want to do it that way. Now I come in and I'm going to go ahead and add this for the flap, and you see me turning this forward and backwards to see where I want to put it, and then I decide, you guys, after making all those lines, to go ahead and put it with the bird side up. So these are things that are going to happen. You're going to change your mind, you're going to change your ideas, but just go with the flow of your creative process. I add my glue to all three sides of this piece because now I'm going to turn it into a pocket. I come in with my little doohickey and just kind of round out those edges just for a cleaner look. And once again, repeating that process of adding in our distress inks. Now you're going to see that process throughout the journal because that's how I'm kind of going to age up my pictures. And then I put this and I made this a little pocket. So I only glued on three sides of that page and added a little pocket there. So I come in once again with our little bird images from our bird book and fussy cut out a bird image to apply to our junk journal here. I age up the edges with my distress ink, and then I'll come in with my glue and add that to the bottom of the page. So I found this scrap piece of lace in my stash, and I'm going to add these to the edges of whatever page I see fit and add a little bit of a different lace element to the edges. Now I'll have a lot of different lace styles here and a lot of different colors. So that's the look I'm going for, kind of like a messy, put together junk journal here. So you guys go with your options of things that you have in your stash, and just once again, you guys just go with the flow of your creative process. And I'm going to bring in some of this ledger paper here. I found this also in my paper stash. And I think I'm just going to do a little fold out here. So I fold it in half and then I folded it in half again. And then you guys know I'm going to come in and distress it. And then we'll add some glue in at the end to glue that into the crease and have this open up in our junk journal. We are going to do one last page here before we end our video. And I'm just going to come in with a little stamp here and my distress ink, and I'm just going to stamp a border around this page here. I really would like to know what you guys think so far of the junk journaling process that I am doing. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this junk journal so far. And I thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video.